As you can see, folks, you have your next match, which is going to be LUFIA versus HANZELOT. It is a best-of-5, our first semi-final. Whoever wins this will qualify for Worlds and be in our final later on today. So get in the chat, let us know who you think is going to do it, and let's head back into the action with Sam and with Seg.
Here we go. I have the simple solution. Win and get a ticket to Bangkok. Why not even bring a +1 of Han? Here we have HANZELOT versus LUFIA, match 1, set 1 in the semi-finals. We've got the pre-bans, Bella and Escher coming out, say.
Asher pre-ban, definitely interesting, but we have seen that HANZELOT Asher was outspeeding Athnas. That's definitely a very fast unit. Picks coming in pretty fast. We have that Han being picked up other side. Common units that we see throughout today. That Vanessa plus that Cigar. I
just want to add as well right now, I've got some stats on LUFIA versus HANZELOT from the ladder. So far, LUFIA has a 57% win rate against HANZELOT with a 43. 7 times, 3-4. This is going to be a close one again, I think. We've seen Oliver, we see the Sekhmet, Yonghong, and the Salah is back on that field. He told me we'll see. We'll see it next.
Yeah, and that's the interesting part. Both Yonghong and Salah were not picked at all last time. But definitely the speed units. Okay, you ban out my Asher. I got more of those high base speed units. Let me lock them in for you.
Exactly. The more speed that you have partnering with those speed leads, you're saying that you're going to go turn 1. How much can you do with that turn 1? We saw last time that Salah was very fast. So can it be as fast? Maybe he's got some recent grinds that have managed to make it speed up even more. Let's see.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. On the other side, we're going in with that Ongyuki and once again the Shizuka.
The Shizuka always seems to work for LUFIA. So maybe this time, I've said it now, it's not going to work out for him, but Shizuka there, able to use any of the debuffs and the buffs that have been on the field to apply to enemies and to her own allied team as well. So could be very useful during the whole fact that Salah is going to be putting a lot of different things on the enemy team if it's allowed through. HANZELOT with this last pick right now, who do you think is going to go?
There's a bunch of options because the team is very versatile on the side of LUFIA already, but we have seen a bunch of Sonya drafts. We haven't seen a single Sonya on the field. Everyone is respecting those Sonyas that are locked in the 4 or the 5 slot. Everyone is banning them out. And I think in this case, once again, we will ban them out.
Here we go. Let's see if he actually does get the respect ban right now onto it. There's likely going to be some speed leads then going through if you're going to have to respect ban. Maybe you also want to take out a Sekhmet, the high speed unit. But in competition format, she's not had a positive win rate during the SWC. So, is it something you have to take into account?
Let's see what we have on the base. And we have both speed leads being removed, and we have the unit of Sonya in there, and there's a lot of speedy units on the side of HANZELOT on this one.
Here we go. HANZELOT versus LUFIA, match 1, set 1, the Euro Cup semi-final. Taking the first turn is that Yonghong.
Yonghong, are you going to boost up something else? Are you going to boost up maybe that Sonya? Boost up the Salah.
Salah coming in now. Second skill into Sekhmet, silence and stun.
Silence and stun, exactly the two that you want to see. In this case, where are you going to go for your damage? Because you kind of want to deal with the Han, you kind of want to deal with Ongyuki, but you can't really deal with both at the same time. Did manage to strip it. Or are we going to go for probably Ongyuki, or are we going to... Kills it. 25k, not too much damage, but just enough to kill it. And we have the increased cooltime landing, which was the most important thing from HANZELOT.
Exactly, it's very clean right now from HANZELOT in all honesty. If there's any additional turns coming through, it's not going to be too effective anymore. Oh, that's the one though.
And that's definitely going to trade 1-for-1 because of that armor break. There's going to be a lot of damage on that Sonya.
Exactly, is he going to use, he still uses just a skill 1 there. Manages against Salah. What else can he do? Taking more damage into that Sekhmet.
Yeah, definitely more damage into that Sekhmet, but the damage from that Ongyuki is also definitely something that's very strong at this moment. If it goes more for those S1 armor breaks, procs into higher damage on that S2, it could be a lot of work for HANZELOT, but we have to... Can we land it? Oh, we chose to go wrong element and did not land it.
Here we go then, Shizuka. Can she get some pushbacks? And we're going to be seeing Salah coming up straight after, if nothing is going to be changing during this. Salah is then available with that skill 1. Are we going to be able to kill that Sekhmet? Oh!
Stun on the wrong target. That's also the thing about Salah. Salah chooses himself where he's going to place the stun. And we're going to get armor break, armor break across the field. We have a skill 2 of Ongyuki. How much damage are you going to do on that? Is it going to kill everything? Does it kill everything, but gets the additional turn, and that additional turn will definitely kill one of the units of the battlefield.
Wow, huge from LUFIA. You saw the reaction from HANZELOT. He knew as soon as those defense breaks were out, he was in danger. And Ongyuki making a comeback from last year. Dushan's, we get a stun on that one. But we can revive a Han, no, with a skill 3.
Yeah, we can revive Han, and Han was not reset, so that's definitely going to be a simple solution to take off another unit. Doesn't even need it, just goes for a classic as one.
Wow. Wow, well done to LUFIA, managing to take the first point against HANZELOT in this semi-final of our Europe Cup. Wow.
That was very well played, and at some point the turnaround was that AoE armor break from that segment into that Ongyuki. You stun it, you can't stun it. And that's still the very strong factor that Ongyuki has. Going in with that skill 2, not really caring about elements, so much damage.
And also only using this skill 1 on Ongyuki in the original start to allow Sekhmet to then set him up right.
Exactly.
All about these decisions, these fine-tuned decisions that can make such a big difference when you're on this stage right now. So, Escher and Bella are back up for grabs for both of these guys. Do we now see any of a ban pick, or are they both going to be like, right, we've got these, we know how to deal with it as we go into this next match, say?
Yeah, definitely in this case, HANZELOT did show his speedy units, but these speedy units, they did take the first turn, they did take out one unit, but then there's still a lot of units that LUFIA is drafting that are very dangerous. So in this case, pick and ban, or the pre-bans, we're taking a little bit more time on this one, so I see HANZELOT looking around, so I definitely do think that LUFIA is the one that was unsure about locking it, and locks in that Yonhong. However, on the other side, we have that Vanessa.
Exactly, I was actually just looking at Yonhong because I thought it might be on there, and it's currently on a 66% win rate during SWC with over 35 matches. So obviously a unit, when it can pop off, it does big time for the player. This time it's been banned out, but the trade of Han has already happened.
Yeah, so is Han being the winning factor in this match? Every person that has the Han takes the winning factor, or is one of the two players good enough to also counter their own unit?
Exactly, and if that was to play out, that would mean that LUFIA would have the advantage with the 3 times of the first pick to be able to choose that Han. So right now, LUFIA has to come up with a different answer. He's going to be choosing, it looks like that more, and we also saw an Oliver pop-up, which was the Despair one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was definitely the Despair one. The Escher that is able right now, because not pre-banned for HANZELOT, that is the fastest unit that HANZELOT probably has to offer, and sit in with a Changpong.
Exactly, Escher actually only with a 44% win rate, but not really too commonly used in SWC, only 20 times, so maybe a little bit of a shifted in terms of the stats there. We've also got Chongpong on the field as well. Super strong unit. You can see he's going for that turn 1, say.
Yeah, both of them are definitely saying turn 1. LUFIA could kind of switch around this draft right now, going a little bit more turn 2, maybe a little bit more supports, maybe going towards the Juno or something, but it might be not that fitting into a Han as well.
There we go. We see the Despair Oliver coming out with the Bella. That damage is going to be dangerous.
That damage is definitely going to be dangerous, but on the other side, he has pretty much no sustain whatsoever if he locks in with this draft fully. So if you go to something that you can say like, okay, you take those first turns, I can survive that, which is difficult against the Bella, but if you survive it, you can maybe play around that. But HANZELOT is like, no, man. I want that first turn as well. I'm locking in a speed lead. Maybe ending another speed lead. Could maybe go for a Dark Robo.
Fire Cookie.
Fire Cookie definitely takes it away. Lucia is not being drafted. We go into more speedy units with that segment in there. However, HANZELOT only has 1 speed lead right now compared to the 2 speed leads on the side of LUFIA.
And we know how fast that Bella was last time, right? Managing to take a turn super early, managing to do the damage, getting it low enough to then set up for somebody else to take it out. But let's see right now, as he's got a little bit of time, LUFIA, he is 1-0 up. He's in a bit of more of the driving seat. He's comfortable right now on stage. Seems pretty comfortable as well. Very focused in the camera view, I must say, with an Etna being picked.
Absolutely being focused. Going in with that Athna, if he bans out the speed lead on the Tomoe, he will definitely take first turn. However, that Athna might be banned off, and that Escher has also been shown being very, very fast. So I would even be surprised if an Escher without speed lead still outspeeds Vio units on 33 lead.
Let's see then. So they're going to decide who they're going to be banning out right now. There is the speed lead options, like Say said, but which one are you going to be taking out? It's all about the synergies. Taking out the Bella and the Tomoe.
So actually removing the damage, but in this case that Athna could be very dangerous with a lot of damage.
Exactly. Let's get into this now. Speed lead taken and HP lead taken. LUFIA 1-0 up against HANZELOT as we go into match 1, set 2 of the Europe Cup semi-finals. Going first is obviously Etna. What can she do, Say?
Yeah, in this case, it's maybe kind of dangerous to go for skill 2. If you miss multiple crits on that Athna, you're not going to get that cycling turn because the Asher is moving very fast. Decides to go for the skill 3. Did not go down to 50%, but still managed to get that stun.
Here we go then, Sekhmet. She has skill 3 available. Is she going to be able to land this skill 3? Likely to go into the Cigar, do you think? Yes, and gets it.
Yeah, gets it on the Cigar, and that's probably also where you're going to place your damage then. However, I would actually go for the damage on the Athna, because Athna, without armor break, is probably still easier to kill, but that is a lot of damage on that Cigar. Can you actually kill this?
Oh.
That is very close on the damage. That is a very, very strong Han over there.
More managing to get 1 stun. Can Oliver, we know it was a Despair build, can he get some stuns as well right now? Going into the Escher, no, but gets the cool time, and Etna can start to cycle with skill 2 and defense breaks.
Defense breaks across the board, but there's one unit that can't be You see it right now, and that is this one. We need glancing. Can we land glancing on the Athena? We got glancing on all 3 units. That was definitely the most important thing to happen right here. However, we're going to say goodbye to that Han as well, because that skill 3 from the Oliver will probably take out that Han.
Let's see then if he decides to go for it. He knows that the Etna's going to be following up after, so does he decide to save it? Does. Puts the cool time there. Now we've got skill 2.
Skill 2.
Manages to kill.
More cycling, and we go back to close to like 60% attack bar as well. Very close up to go for another skill 3 and just shaking off that armor break and the glancing that way.
There we go, and we've got more now with skill 1 available. It's looking very healthy for Lufia right now. Wow, stun.
And a very well-timed stunner on that side from that more towards the side of HANZELOT. With that skill 3, 5.3Ks, a lot of damage. Taking out the next unit, taking out all of the units pretty soon. Sekhmet solo surviving, Sekhmet concedes, and that is another victory for Lufia.
Wow, Lufia looks confident, calm, collected right now. Honestly, I don't think a lot of people would have had this in their predictions. I can't remember from the prediction thing how much percentage he actually had. But for him right now, he's looking very strong. HANZELOT needs to step up. If you want to get on that flight to Bangkok, represent Europe at the World Finals, you need to start winning now as we get into this pre-ban.
We have seen the reverse sweep already, so it is definitely possible, but that's definitely... Lufia's really playing this calm, collected game of saying, okay, even if you take first turn, I can handle that. I can take turn 1 as well, and you're not able to handle it. So we have seen both situations of that already. In this case, what is the best ban that HANZELOT can bring, where you really remove one of the main pivot units, and that's going to be the Bella.
Yeah, Bella, we know how much damage it can do in the hands of Lufia, but we're pretty sure we're going to see a hand first pick. You don't, if it's not banned out, the first person is going to claim it because it's the unit that is pivotal for both of these guys. How fast are we going to do it? Wow, within 2 seconds that time.
2 seconds, absolutely not surprised on that one. Other side, are we going to go towards an Oliver or more, or do we go back into that Vanessa?
Yeah.
Well, in this case, we go on the Vanessa and the Cigar.
Vanessa and Cigar locked in there by HANZELOT. Will Lufia decide to partner it up again with any of the Sekhmet they had in the first one? We haven't seen any Hairgang, I don't think, from Lufia actually, but he's going for the first turn, right? He wants to get there quicker.
Yeah, interestingly enough, we haven't seen all too much Hairgang as well, but that's also because most of the European players that we have seen playing here today are very dominant on that Cigar, and Cigar is dealing with that unit very well. Goes for comfortable picks with that Oliver and that Onyuki in there.
Yeah, we've got speed, we've got damage coming in right there as well. We know the Despair Oliver. Sekhmet is on the side of HANZELOT right now, so he is still going for that speed contest. Who's he going to follow up with? We had the Escher earlier. This time, looking at the Chongpong instead.
Are we going to lock that in? It's definitely showing that both of the units, we have seen very different playstyles from pretty much most of the players here at SWC so far in Europe Cup. These players are like supports. What are those? Healing units? We don't need them. We just go straight in damage. We control each other, we kill each other, and that's how the match is sealed. We're not going to do a lot of healing in this one. And that's definitely something I like about these two players. But what are you going to bring? Is it going to be another speed lead? Athena is in there, showing a lot more speed. And we have that Juno locked in. Or is it locked in?
Called it early. I'm gonna get. Do you want to take it back or do you want to lock it in?
No, I would lock it in because it's countering a lot on the side, because it's also countering the Sekhmet, and it's 100% banned as well. Otherwise, you'd have no. Yeah, Rika, both of them are gonna ban. Rika's banned, Juno's banned. That one is obvious.
So here we go. So if they're both going to be banned, we're probably going to be taking the 33% speed lead, and we're going to see the speed race between the Etna and the Sekhmet.
Or they're going to play mind games.
Oh!
The mind game was there. The mind game was definitely there. And I would say that HANZELOT might have won this mind game over there.
Wow. This is what happens when you get on stage as we go into set 3. If Lufia wins this, he's going to Bangkok. But HANZELOT, can he prevent him? Etna going first.
Yeah, Etna going first. But I would say there's still a bunch of units that could actually deal with Rika. You could still reset it. You could still armor break it and kill it. Let's see what we get.
Is he going to be able to hand take it fully all the way through? Doesn't get the defense break, but it's still just there, but has to waste that turn of the hand to kill it, right? You have to.
You have a few choices because you can't really do all too much damage with the other two units as well, so you might as well just drop in a little bit damage anyways.
Yeah, and then you've got the Onyuki following up right now. Skill 2 is available, maybe deciding just for skill 1 to do more damage, knowing that Oliver is coming back round and can easily take out that Chongpong if needed. I think you need to just in case, right?
I would say if you go for skill 3 right now, you would absorb attack bar and you might cut in between other units. Because you have good odds to be reset right now anyway, so I think I would have done a skill 3 for just the attack bar up.
Here we go then, Cigar now a skill 2. Can he get the provoke and the defense break? Rika is going to be coming in with a hell of a lot of additional damage over time.
Yeah, so the damage over time is definitely working. Ongyuki will shake it off. However, we have provokes. We have so much stuff going on. And we're going to have another hit of Rika coming in. And then it will die to dots.
Yeah, if he's low enough, he's going to die to the dots. Can we get a stun on the Oliver as well? No, but Oliver gets a stun back. Wow!
And definitely, that is exactly very well played by HANZELOT. Locking in a unit that was the must ban. But if both must bans are on the field, and if one of the two doesn't do it, you very much have the upper hand. And that Rika definitely shot it, and that was a very clean victory from HANZELOT.
Wow, mind games coming into play right now. Maybe that's the confidence boost that HANZELOT needed to try and get back to do the reverse sweep against LUFIA right now. It's still 2-1 for LUFIA. He's in the driving seat. He knows what he needs to do. But now it's all in their hands, on that tablet, in the middle of Paris, on the stage. There's Bella back for him. There's Lima. Who are we going to be banning out, say?
In this case, I think it would still go back and forth between like the main dark units that LUFIA is showcasing. You could, I think in the last one it was actually a Vanessa pre-ban, but I don't think a Vanessa pre-ban is fitting all too well, even though that it's a high contested unit between the two players as well. But you could say like, hey, if I ban the Oliver, and then I can pick the Vanessa, because you are going to have to pick that Han, because that's what we both do. And I think those are kind of the mind games that both players are actually taking more time for right now, of actually seeing how that draft revolves.
Exactly, so we see a Vanessa ban, we see the Escher ban. We know Escher that was used by HANZELOT in the previous round, but was getting stunned by Oliver a few times. HANZELOT, how quick are you going to lock in Han? Not very quickly, so maybe going.
3 seconds, 3 seconds. So well, if we're speedrunning this, HANZELOT is losing that one. However, we're not speedrunning these things. We have 30 full seconds. And on stage there, it feels a lot shorter. We have said it many times, many streamers, many casters, everyone has said it before. If you sit there on stage, these timers feel a lot faster than you're just sitting at home on your sofa.
Yeah, exactly. But you're not on your sofa anymore, so you're on the casting desk, and you still know how short the time is. We can see now an Oliver, and we see a Bella being picked, followed by a Cigar and a Yonghong. So we're going for some speed contests again.
We definitely go for speed contest between the two players over here. Probably locking in another speed lead over here. Could go into that more, into plus something else, or are we going to signal more for that Afna that we've been seeing a few times as well?
Exactly. We know on the side of HANZELOT he would have a response with some sort of a Tomoe as another speed lead if needed. So let's see if he does try to lock in the Etna. Smicer again. We saw it in that first match. And Tomoe
stealing the Tomoe. So HANZELOT, do you have an answer to? Would you go for the Moore right now? Because locking in, could go for Haegang as well. Definitely strong unit. You could go Haegang plus Lima. Definitely a strong combination of the two units. But are you going to have enough damage at that point?
Exactly. And having that damage with the LUFIA still has that last pick as well. He's in the position where he can pick the answer to both of these units, which HANZELOT is going to be able to lock in. We're seeing the Haegang right now. Who else he is going to be picking in with him is down to the last second. The Rika again, is it?
Rika in this position is a little bit stranger because it's a lot easier. You have a bunch of single target strippers that can actually deal with it. So in this case, if you don't ban the Rika, it's not the biggest of issues, I would say. I would also say that if you drop in a unit like a Wind Robo right now, Wind Robo, if it's fast enough, will definitely take that first turn and has the potential of ignoring the Haegang, AoE stunning the field, and I think that would be a pretty strong unit.
Let's see then. LUFIA also taking all the time that he needs on that stage, but deciding for his Etna. With the high base speed, he's been using it before and it was working well for him. Do you just rely on what you have, sir?
Yeah, exactly. But in this case, with that Haegang on the field, if you stun something and strip it, it will also be cleansed and boosted up. You could mess up with the turn orders of the enemy that way, that it maybe has to fight into full immunity on your side. But let's see how that works, but it actually can't work because it's removed from the battlefield on both of the fast units that we have.
Here we go, speed lead on the side of LUFIA. HANZELOT with that defense, 44% lead. It's still the crucial match. If LUFIA wins, he's going to Bangkok. If HANZELOT wins, he's back in it with a 2-2. Bella going first. If she strips, it's going to be pushing up that attack bar.
Yeah, definitely going to be pushing up, but she also has to push down. But the interesting thing about the draft of HANZELOT right now, you have to deal with two units. You saw last time that you had to deal with that Rika. However, you also have to deal with that Han. There's two dangerous units right now. If you get those pushbacks, the Han we have seen into a lot of damage. We got AoE provokes. Han, you're probably going to take out the Bella right here, right now.
Is it enough? He's going straight through. Wow!
That is an insane amount of damage. The armor break was already there. Didn't get the stun. We're going to get the third skill coming in again. We have 3 debuffs on dots on all 3 of the units, and this match is already over.
Wow, what a comeback here from HANZELOT. Rika, another pick that we were like, huh? Managed to prove beneficial here today.
Yeah, the Rika is definitely very strong, and LUFIA keeps getting these units in. Normally, Erika you can kind of deal with, but if there's multiple units that kind of do the same thing, you have to kill either one of them or you have to control both of them. But in this case, it's not possible.
No, and HANZELOT. Are we seeing another reverse sweep? This is 2-2, HANZELOT versus LUFIA. You can see the confidence rising in him, doing a little bit this for the crowd, entertaining. Wow, 2-2, LUFIA versus HANZELOT. Guys, we're getting our money's worth right now on this stream. We want to watch all of these matches, all the way to the best 5. What do they need to change up in this?
We definitely have to look at those 5th picks, especially HANZELOT is playing very well on those 5th picks. If you have those flex 5th picks that you normally don't use, but sometimes you just swipe further to the right of seeing like, okay, what other units do I have? Because I really like to lock in my comfortable units. But if you swipe further to the right, you actually see like a bunch of units pop up that you might think like, hey, that Rika suddenly fits, a Diana suddenly fits, like units that you normally don't really draft fit, and HANZELOT is doing that very well on this stage right now.
Exactly. Right now we have the pre-bans of the Bella and the Cigar coming in this time, obviously not wanting to deal with any of the damage coming out from that Bella of LUFIA. But he locked in the Han, I believe it was in 1 second that time, so we're speeding it back up for the Han lock-in during this match. And HANZELOT picking at first Chungpung, who he might follow it up with, because maybe you need a speed lead if you go in for this.
Yeah, he could go for the Vanessa or the Oliver. Actually takes the Tomoe. Interesting that we're actually checking the Tomoe first before checking an Oliver and Vanessa. What we actually have been doing the last few rounds rather than the Tomoe. But since HANZELOT has seen that LUFIA also likes to pick up Tomoe, maybe that's the reason it's like, I don't like you having this unit too.
Exactly, it's one of those things, if you see it stolen from you, you're a bit like, hey, this is mine, I'm going to show you how it works, eh? Especially if he's going to have a Rika partnered at the end of that, but I don't know if that would necessarily go through together. LUFIA taking his time now with the last 3 seconds. On Gyuki, he's going to be locked in with a Juno, knowing that the Tomoe can spread debuffs.
Pretty interesting, definitely liking the Juno over here. The only thing that's pretty interesting is that LUFIA has always been locking in at least one of the 2 speed leaders in slot 2 and slot 3. He's staying away from that right now, feeling like, okay, whatever I just did didn't work. And he's not really remembering the first 2 matches, he's really remembering the 3rd and the 4th match where he lost. So he's really trying to mix things up, but is that for the better or for the worse?
Yeah, because right now HANZELOT has taken a speed lead with the 33% of Vanessa and the Yonghon as well. So right now he's gone, hey, if you didn't take any speed leads, get ready for some speed contest on my side.
Yeah, definitely. I would also say that a more plus maybe another speed lead, like if you go more Oliver right now, you can definitely get away with the draft if the Juno is fast enough to set up for your other units. But is that then also the way that LUFIA will go? Because I think that's a very predictable way that LUFIA could go for, and then also HANZELOT can answer, and he actually goes for a completely different route. But HANZELOT has a very quick answer for it. The moment he saw those units, you saw his facial expression saying like, okay, I don't really care too much. I have an option for this. But I also definitely like him taking his time of locking it in. Like if you see something, you don't actually have to lock it in right away. Taking his time, but most likely I would say that Wusa is going to be banned.
So if we get a Wusa ban, do we always also think that maybe the Dooman is going to get respect banned out at the end? Yeah,
Dooman definitely has that respect ban just because it's simply like 3 turns or 4 turns on a Camilla. Probably 3 turns because you lower HP it a little bit more. The unit is just gone. It can't heal, can't do anything. You can't cleanse it off. Very strong skill the moment it lands. So they're definitely taking their time, and I definitely like them taking their time because we go all the way best of 5.
War Mind Games came through. Yonghon is out. Camilla is out, leaving the Dooman through. But the Wusa did manage to come through. We've got speed leads of 33% Vanessa. LUFIA with the Han. 2-2. Final set in this first semi-final. First turn goes to LUFIA with HANZELOT.
Yeah, let's see what we have on this Han. There's full immunity on the side of HANZELOT. That's definitely very good for HANZELOT. But we have the Dooman moving next. Dooman is mostly very tanky, but this one is actually very tanky and very fast.
Exactly, the combination of both best things it can have. Can she get suppression? Yes, but Han with the cut in there.
Yeah, is it then also 100 resistance? It's still, the man has everything.
How well rune, but Ongyuki's going to be following up here. I don't know if it's going to be enough to take down the Dooman.
No, I don't think so. You would have to go for an S1, S2. Just an S2 is probably not going to do it. And I also don't think you would have to say that you have to use skills on Wusa to actually get this through. But we have a cut.
Wow, Chungpung coming in, skill 3, getting the cool times and pushing everything back. Curse of Death, does it land? Yes, Juno is going to be losing health over the next 4 turns until she's dead.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be there for a while, but since there's so much damage on the Dooman already and no healing on the side of HANZELOT, we did get a very crucial stun over there. But I would say that Curse of Death is the only high damage output that HANZELOT has. Curse of Death, HANZELOT is not going to have that because we have that because, yeah, it's revived, cool and all, but we first remove the debuff on the battlefield and then you get revived, so it doesn't stay.
Exactly. That was huge, actually, that Juno didn't get any sort of stun there because she would have got a speed buff, and I don't know if she would have cut. Can Tomoe now spread any of the defense breaks, or do you think the suppression is more useful?
I would definitely go for spreading, but the moment you spread, actually decides to go for, you have Juno on speed buff. Juno on speed buff, how much S1 damage are we looking at? 2.4, 2.5? That's for skill 2. And we have a bunch of stuns, but we also have a stun on Young Nuki, which is going to be removed.
Exactly, and it's going to be able to take a turn very soon. And because of that, how much damage can it do? We're going to get some more suppression turn cycling from Dooman. But right now, until that Curse of Death, even if it goes on, she's not very healthy.
No, like that's the thing. She needs her health. Like Dooman is mostly better placed in a situation where you have some kind of healers next to it. We saw like other regions play with it with like Oracles, Brahas, Junos, that kind of stuff. But in this case, we have the skill 2 of Onyuki taking out 2 units, followed up by another unit. And we have HANZELOT giving the sportsmanship of clapping for his opponent, which was too strong for him today. Both of them showed an amazing showcase. But we have the victory, and Lufia is going to Thailand.
He's going to Bangkok, baby! He's doing it! Lufia is going all the way to the final and, of course, to the World Finals later this year as well. What an incredible achievement that is. And we so nearly saw a second reverse sweep of the day. The crowd loved seeing that.